Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the Akim who are tuning into these videos. In this video, I wanted to read a few precepts going into how we're supposed to present ourselves as a living sacrifice for this ministry. Everything has to be put to the side, and we have to focus first and foremost on this word and the mission that we were sent out to do. Yahawashi emphasized this to Peter, to feed his sheep, and now we're doing that in today's times to make sure that all of the world hears this message, and therefore the elect will hear that, because this word has gone out throughout the four corners of the earth, and it's accomplishing that what it's doing. Whether they hear or whether they forbear, the elect are going to obtain this word. And so I want to read this first in Luke 14 and 28, or I'll start up a little bit, and I'll start at verse 26. It says, "If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple." Now, this understanding is that you can't put other things in the society in the forefront. If your family was really with you and about what you are intending to do, which really is you're saving them, like in the situation of Lot and the situation of Noah, then you and your household will be delivered so long as you keep the faith. And so you can't let your family members bring you down. And that's something that it's like a demon that a lot of brothers in this ministry have to encounter, defeat, and overcome. So we don't put our physical family members in the forefront. Yeah, we do take care of one each other and be nice to our actual family members, but ultimately our real family members are those who believe in Yahweh B'Hashem Yahawashi. Those are the main ones that are your brothers and your sisters, the ones who could really understand your plight and what you're going through. And so I'm going to continue on in verse 27. It says, "And whosoever doth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple." And that's something that you have to understand. When you come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. You're going to see a whole bunch of crazy things, like how it says even in the precept above this, your family members might come up against you. "Think it not strange concerning these fiery trials. These are expected of you." That's something that when we are speaking these things to newcomers, we're reading these precepts. We're bringing out these things and bringing out topic points about these situations, so that you're not caught blindsided when certain things arise and happen. And so I'm going to read that in verse 27 again. It says, "And whosoever doth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple." And that's something that we have to do. Not only is like just to push off this world, but like actually be like entangled in it, in a sense that like you still have to work. You know, we're not like entangled in the cares of the events of this world that like we're distracted, but you know, we still have to do our daily bread. We still have to work. We still have to maintain our situation and our whatever, you know, the Heavenly Father has you to take care of. You still have to take care of that. But ultimately, the first and foremost, is this ministry. You know, we put off everything to the side so that we could do this in the first and foremost thing in our mindset, having your eyes single, making time for Yahweh B'Hashem Yahawashi, and then all these things shall be added unto you. Well, that's the precept, "Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, then all these things shall be added unto you." And if you do these things, you study, go into the ministry, the precepts, and do your videos, then all these other things will be added unto you. The Heavenly Father knows what you need to require to complete this mission. He's not going to leave you out starving or something like that. He's going to make sure that you are taken care of so long as you take care of what you are commanded to do. And you have to bear that cross. You have to go through trials and tribulations. You have to go through those things, because the servant ultimately is not greater than his master. And that's part of putting your hand on this plow, is that you're now sharing that burden of what Yahawashi died on the cross for. This is in verse 28, continuing on. It says, "For which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish? lest haply after he hath laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it so like it says, all that behold it begin to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. Or what king going to make war against another king sitteth not down first and consulteth with whether he be able with 10,000 to meet him that cometh against him with 20,000? So the situation here, kind of like a parable, is that like a person who's not really intending to finish a building, a person who's really doing that is going to look into all that work and effort, all the time and management that you have to do to actually build a tower. It's not just a foundation that you have to establish. You have to make sure every nook and cranny of that tower is built properly. And so that's what we do for this ministry. We look for it in all the things that we are required to do, like giving up some of your time so that you could push forth this ministry. And it's a little thing, really. You know, this what we're doing is pleasing to Yahawashi with the simplicity of preaching, but ultimately it's very easy. What it's really doing spiritually is sifting those who do not want to do this. They don't want to count the costs. Like the rich man who wanted to be a disciple of Yahawashi, but Yahawashi told him to sell all of his things that he had. That person, he was pretty perfect in the law to an extent. Well, like as the scriptures goes into it, he was doing everything. He was doing this. He followed the Sabbath, all this and that. And he was asking Yahawashi, what can he do so that he could receive eternal glory? Yahawashi told him to sell all of his things. And he couldn't do that because he was too attached to those things. He couldn't let go of those things. And you can imagine if that person was in the same situation of Noah, he wouldn't be out there preaching. He wouldn't leave Sodom and Gomorrah like Lot did. Lot basically left in a moment's notice. And that's kind of like how you have to have it in your mindset. You have to count those costs. You have to consider all the things that you're leaving behind in this world. And ultimately, you know that this place is going to be destroyed. This is not our rest. This place will surely destroy you if you make it your rest. And everything in this place, ultimately, according to prophecy, is going to be destroyed. We're not even going to keep these bodies if we have actual faith that Yahawashi is going to return with those chariots to deliver us before this place gets destroyed. And so, like, having that in your mindset helps and alleviates that burden. That, you know, if you get just resting with Yahawashi, giving him your burdens, then you'll be able to maneuver these things. You'll be able to have the think space to actually build this tower. So I'm going to read more precepts. This is in Matthew 16 and 24. Let me see. I'm just going to start here. Yes, verse 24. Then said Yahawashi unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. And that's actually taking place. A lot of us already have nothing to offer in this world. We don't have anything in our pockets in that sense, because this is Esau's world. Esau's living it up right now. It's got the fatness of the earth. So us down here, and as we're under the curses, literally the best thing you can do is give up whatever 2 cents you have in your pocket and give to the poor. And we're the poor, ultimately. You know, seeking love amongst the Akim, the brothers and sisters who have faith in this ministry. You know, so we're denying ourselves, because all of us could, if we wanted to, be somebody in this world. But now we are forsaking this world and choosing Yahawashi, walking that straight and narrow, as opposed to the broad gate where everyone leads. It's going to lead to destruction. You know, that's what this precept is pretty much saying. You know, denying yourselves. We could, you know, hone in our skills on, you know, for example, like sports, can become a good athlete or a musician or an artist. But if you seek the kingdom of Yahawashi, you'll receive those blessings regardless. You know, brothers aren't just lazy. You know, we work out and we play sports here and there. And then some brothers actually have the gift of being able to play music or actually draw. Like, they're very talented. But first and foremost, we serve Yahawashi, and we get those extra benefits so long as we do those things. But that's not what we're building our ministry on, being able to draw and do all these things, because that's not what this ministry is about. This ministry is about serving Yahawashi, speaking to the people the good news that's about to take place. We're not going to bring all these accolades and skill sets into the kingdom. We're going to receive bodies that made perfect. So like anything that you actually desire, first and foremost is you want to desire this place to go down. And then Yahawashi will make sure that that happens. He'll give you blessings, because when you ask of him, you should be asking for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, things that pertain to your salvation, so that you're able to uphold your end of the bargain. If you are lacking in time because you want to do other things, pray to the Lord that you get time to study, and then those things will be added unto you. But ultimately, we're not going to be invested in those things. Those are just little things that we are participating in while we wait for this society to crash. The first and foremost thing, we're mainly focused on this word and pushing it throughout the four corners of the earth. That's the main thing that this ministry is part of, and what we are pushing out. So when we tell newcomers, that's something that we emphasize. When you come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. I'm going to read another precept in Luke 9:62. It says, and Yahawashi said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of the Most High. And you're going to have that in this ministry. I've myself seen it also, where a person who we once called a brother came into this ministry, heard all these things, agreed, understood that we're going to go through temptations and this and that, but ultimately the cares of this world, the affairs, whatever it was, either it was their family or some sort of folly, they weren't able to participate in those things. So then they forsook Yahawashi and just went right back into the world. And so that's basically this meaning of a person who's putting their hand on the plow. You're in this ministry, you have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and you know that this place is going to be destroyed, but then you choose to go back into it. You're basically not fit for the kingdom of the Most High. And you're basically forsook. Like you're given the stay away. You're not able to just go back and forth like that. If you're really about this, you would want to hold onto that plow until the work is done. You don't want to be like the person who he was building a tower, like in Luke 14, but then he didn't have all the tools or the time, equipment to be able to finish it. The other people around him were mocking him. So you don't want to be in that predicament. When you come to serve the Lord, prepare yourself for temptation. Prepare yourself for giving that dedication that Yahawashi requires. Ultimately, he wants you to be faithful unto death. And so this is in Revelation 3:16. I'll start at verse 15. It says, I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou wert cold or hot, so that because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. And this is something that when I read it, I apply it to myself so that I can get corrected. And then other brothers read this. We speak it amongst each other, because that's something that we want to have. Urgency and fervency for this ministry, and so that keeps us sharp in a way. If we're lacking in certain things, we lift each other up. That's why not only do we just go out there on the highways and hedges, but we do these videos throughout the week, and then also we do our personal time of reading the scriptures so that we hone in on that skill. Is really we give our whole time and energy to Yahawashi so that we could push forth this ministry. And so if you're lukewarm, if you aren't really in this ministry, then Yahawashi is ultimately going to spew you out of his mouth. In a way, like if you're drinking a lukewarm soda, for example, no one wants to drink a lukewarm soda. You'd rather that be ice cold. Or if you're drinking a coffee, you don't want that coffee to be lukewarm. You want it to be nice and hot. So that's basically like the representation of this euphemism, this parable, that Yahawashi wants you to be 100% about this, and not just wishy-washy, if you will. And last precept I wanted to read, this is in Romans 12:1. It says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. And you could really stop it right there, but I'm going to read from verse 2. It says, "And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High." And the more and more you do these things, you study the scriptures, you listen to the videos, and you make these videos, you go out in the highways and hedges, you start to see the I forget how you say the word, but like the desire to want to be in this world starts to dissipate, because you know and understand that this is not our rest, like how it says in Micah 2:10, "Arise and depart, for this is not your rest." It's polluted. It'll surely destroy you. And we preach these words so that we can, we persuade others with the fear of the Lord. Knowing the terror of the Lord, we persuade men. And so that's something like fear mongering. It's letting you know that like this is a serious job. Like how the apostles say this is basically like the mafia, and Yahawashi are the leaders. And if you're not doing your job, if you're lukewarm, or if you have this gift, this treasure of being a part of this ministry under a napkin, then you're going to be cast out. And this is pretty much point into the simple, I forgot how the phrase is, but like to the point, as I should say. Yeah, but with that, I want to give all honor and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Rakak Wadash, Shalom Makim.